fiscal year 2015, 11 million immigrants entered the U.S. The U.S. Census Bureau says that's 4 times larger than the population of Houston. We see all the time about an immigration crisis on television, on the news. We see it everywhere we look. But how many of us really know what it is? Take, for instance, you're driving to work. You're driving, you're listening to the radio, you hear 100 illegal immigrants found across state. That's not too hard to imagine, right? We do live in Texas, we do border Mexico. 100 illegal immigrants, that's not hard to imagine. Now your work's over, you're done, you're headed home. You hear 50 illegal immigrants found one major city over. That's not hard to imagine. Beaumont or Houston would be the next major city over. There's 2.3 million people in Houston. You gotta find work somewhere, right? Now 25 illegal immigrants were found one county over. It's a little hard to believe, right? This is Southeast Texas. We shouldn't have that problem, right? We shouldn't have that problem yet. That's not at our back door. Well, it is. As of earlier this year, stated by Mike Sanchez, Chief of Police at Vidor High School, 3 illegal immigrants were arrested off of I-10 in Vidor. It's right in our backyard. There's a problem there. So today we're going to look at 3 things. First, America's immigration crisis. Second, we're going to look at a solution for this crisis. And third, we're going to see that solution in action. Now that we've already established there's a problem, we need to look at a solution. We see all the time on news, whether it's on TV, over the radio, or on our phones, we see problem. You see a whole bunch of different opinions on what we should and shouldn't do. You see people say that we should just go ahead and let all the immigrants in. We see people that said, no, they're not citizens, we shouldn't let them in. Recently we've seen a large amount of debates over children at the border and what we should and shouldn't do. Some people say it's not right to split up a family. Some people say it's not right to enter a country illegally. There's no definite line where whose opinion is correct and whose opinion is not. But there is a definite line in what is lawful and what is not. The only way that we can establish what is wrong and what is right is with the law. Every day there's policies passing through the courts, passing through legislation over what we should and shouldn't do. Now, the only way for us to help is to do what we can. Now, we may not be able to pass a law. We may not be able to make a definite line that says, no, you can't do this or no, you can't. But we can write letters to Congress. We can vote. We can vocalize our opinion to our legislation, our members of Congress. We can share our thoughts and our reasonings in a respectful way to our friends, our family, our social media. That is what we can do. That is our solution. Now that we've seen our solution, let's look at what this does in practice. If we vocalize what we want, if we try as hard as we can to make this solution true, this is what will happen. 2 things. 1, immigration, mass illegal immigration will stop. We put in a policy that is enforced, it will stop. 2015, those 11 million immigrants had a little bit of crime with them. 820 800,000 of those illegal immigrants had criminal records. 300,000 of those 820,000 had felonies. 380 out of those 820 had serious misdemeanors. Now, I'm not talking spray painting on a wall or vandalizing something. I'm talking about spending no less than 90 days in prison for their misdemeanor. Now that we've seen, obviously, we have a problem. We've seen a solution to the problem, and we've seen what our solution does in action. I ask you, what are your thoughts? What are you going to do to help the problem? Are you going to drive to work and listen to the radio? Are you going to watch TV, watch the evening news and see local news on another immigrant was found one county over, another immigrant was found, or illegal immigrant was found here? What are you going to do to stop this crisis?